creative pursuits can be kind of lonely. Um, I mean, when I wrote my books, I was primarily just alone. And I'm really bad at getting into online communities. That probably seems weird, having been habitually online and on YouTube for like over 13 years. But God, I guess that's coming up to 14 years. Anyway, it probably sounds odd, but like I am just very bad communicating online. Uh, Back in the day when I had a Discord server, anybody who was on that Discord server will tell you that I was not a very active member, even though I owned it. It's just not something I'm good at. Anyway, that said, it is something that I have thought about quite a bit, and it's something that I've always thought that I kind of missed, was this sense of being part of something, being part of like a community. When I would go to cons back when I was still working on the Bleeding Worlds, or it had just come out, being with other writers and stuff like that, it was really cool. And I haven't really found any communities that are like in person nearby me. So this long-winded thing is to say that today I am going for a creative brunch. God, that sounds, I don't know, weird, pretentious. I don't know. In any case, the local board game cafe where I play D&D is basically opening up that people that are creators of all things, whether it be knitting, whether it be visual arts, writers, whatever, that come and bring whatever you're working on and like hang out and meet other creative people. And I signed up for it because I was kind of excited by that because of everything that I've just said. But at the same time, now I'm sitting here and I can't deny that I have a little bit of imposter syndrome starting to eat away at me. And it's just kind of saying like, maybe you're just another poser. I don't know, but I'm going to try it out. And as part of my let's do things differently, as part of my let's try things with this channel, we're actually going to go for a road trip today. I probably won't record in the board cafe because, I feel weird about recording other people without their permission. And I'm still not to the point where I feel cool recording in public, but I'm at least going to take you on the road with me because I've never done that. And so let's do something different. So, hey, let's go. All right. Well, here we are. I recorded a whole bunch of stuff and then went through the drive-thru to get myself some coffee. And guess what I realized? I only recorded like 16 seconds of that. I am a content creator extraordinaire. Anyway, we're on the road again. Not that you know that, because you weren't on the road with me in the beginning. But here we go. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Anyway, hey, this is probably the craziest experiment I've ever had. I don't know if this is gonna work at all. This footage might be shaky as all hell and useless. Okay, what are you doing, buddy? You gonna let me in? Just go, bro. I got you. All right, cool. We're good. I think my biggest concern I shouldn't say concern, but I think my biggest issue and the reason that I'm having like this sense of imposter syndrome is because I don't even know what I am, in terms of creative. Like, it'll be like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I make jewelry. What do you do? Oh, I make knit crafts. What do you do? I'm a visual artist. What do you do? I'm like, I've written stuff in the past. I write the summaries for my D&D sessions. I do YouTube videos where I basically just stick a camera on a tripod in my basement and talk about shit. Like, literally, this is the most creative thing that I think I have done for YouTube in near 14 years. It'll be 14 years in, I think, November. So, yeah, it was like 2011 that I first just started posting on YouTube. How crazy is that? Man, 14 years ago, I was still in my 30s. Holy jumping. Yeah, wow. Probably weighed like 50 pounds less, too. Man, I miss that guy. 14 years younger and 50 pounds lighter. Yeah. Anyway. But I think that's my biggest thing, is that I don't really know what I am creatively, but we'll find out. I mean, you know, am I gonna just go this thing and draw a box? Draw boxes. You see me look at my watch because I have a camera app on my watch. I'm using my phone. I literally can't tell if it's still recording or not. I'm gonna go on faith now, although I'm pretty nervous after my absolute loss of 15 minutes of stuff, but whatever. I didn't say anything important because honestly, I just have never done this before. I don't even know. I won't talk this whole trip. It's gonna take like half an hour to get there. That's too much. That's too much of me. We'll just, you know, we'll cut some footage and stuff like that. But I will say though that the one thing that, like, I've been watching some videos on how to learn how to draw, and so many of them obviously, you know, oh, you gotta learn like perspective, you gotta learn form, you've gotta do this, do that, do this. But then I watched this one video and I really appreciated it because the first thing that they're like, before you even pick up a pencil, ask yourself why. Why do you want to learn how to draw? Is there a goal? Like, do you think that, like, do you want to draw characters? Do you want to do landscapes? Because, and it struck me as funny, but I was like, you know, when you put it that way, it makes things feel a lot more manageable. Because, as I said in my whole, like, you know, midlife crisis video, one of the things that I'm actually thinking I want to do, that I think I would really enjoy doing, that kind of marries a lot of things that I have loved, is make a game. And I'm looking at things like Hello Charlotte, or even like Corpse Party, as ideas. And what I realized when I was saying that to myself and, you know, watching this video and it's asking like, why do you want to learn how to draw? I was like, I really only need to be able to draw characters in a 3/4 pose and with some different facial expressions, like, to start. I'm not saying that's all I should ever aspire to, but to start. And suddenly it made the task feel a lot easier. Do you know what I mean? Like, suddenly, instead of like, oh, I have to learn perspective, like, from looking up and looking down, looking up, and I'm like, here's the camera up here looking down, looking, you know, like perspectives from up, down, left, right, this, that, and the next, like, you know, 6/8 view, which I guess is the same as 3/4, but whatever. I literally, never mind. Anyway, I guess my point is that it made me go, well, maybe this task that seems so big is not as big as I think. Like, really, if I focus on drawing heads, hair, torso at a 3/4 perspective, And that's 100% of what I put my energy into. I could probably get pretty far in a lot shorter time than if I was just like, I just want to learn how to draw. Do you know what I mean? Like, or not knowing like where to go. Like, it's like, no, now I know I need to be able to learn to draw the head at a 3/4 perspective. I need to learn how to draw facial expressions at a 3/4 perspective. You know, and things like, say, Corpse Party, there wasn't a lot of variation in those character models. And yet it became this big game. And so I kind of felt like if I'm trying to do something small, something independent, where I'm doing literally all of it, I don't know that I have to do something that is mind-blowing. Does that make any sense? Like I have to be more considerate of myself. I have to realize that I do have limitations and that I have things that I will be good at or better at, and there's going to be things that I'm going to be worse at. And I need to be okay with it, and I'm going to have to be okay with good enough. And I don't think that that's really a bad thing, but I have to accept it. And obviously, if I'm learning, you know, drawing figures and facial expression and stuff at a 3/4 perspective, I am still going to be learning elements of drawing other things. And then, you know, at that point, if I have something that I can move forward with and feel good about, I think that will serve as a huge motivator for other things. And then I can start applying my skills to, like, you know, maybe in the process of making the game, I'm like, oh, I would love to do just this of the character. Or, you know, I need to be able to draw a pose of the character for, like, the cover art for Steam or what have you. And so then I'll focus on that. But it helps to have that focus. I don't have to feel like the task is so big, so insurmountable, so massive that I'm just like, I'm never going to figure this out. You know? And so that video was really helpful to me. Even though it wasn't filled with, you know, like some of the stuff that it spoke about after that, it was similar to a number of other videos, but that one tidbit, that one thing that was like, figure out why, because then that is going to determine how you should practice and what you should practice and the help you're going to seek. And I think really, like, it's silly at 51 years of age that I shouldn't just like already know that intuitively, but it's funny how you can apply that to everything. And I have, but with art, because it's new, I didn't immediately stop and think to myself, okay, why do you want to do this? What is your goal? It's funny how that when we try something new, sometimes we forget the lessons that we learned learning other things that were new, you know? That it just, we get like, maybe it's just how my brain works, but we get so wrapped up in the newness. We get so wrapped up in how foreign it feels and everything else that we forget the really decent building blocks that we already have to learn new skills and that we've used to learn new skills. It's just funny to me, but you know, sometimes you just need to hear it from someone else. You know what I mean? You just need that extra perspective. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll shut up. We still got a little bit of a drive to go. I've arrived. Let's go in and see what's going on. So yes, we're back in the basement. Lunch was pretty good, actually. It was a lot of worry for nothing, to be quite honest. In fact, what was really funny is that pretty much everybody in the room played D&D, so we spent pretty much the entire time just talking Dungeons and Dragons. Some of them were friends actually with my GM, and some of them GM themselves, and one of the members from my team was there. So he and I were talking about, how to write our own campaigns, and one of the people there was a DM, so he was giving us some tips and stuff. So the art brunch kind of turned into D&D brunch, which is fine. It's totally cool. I mean, some people were drawing and painting, and, that's cool. And I did ask them, I said, if somebody wants to get into drawing, into painting, like where do they start? And their answer too was something that's a whole lot of common sense, I guess, but it's always nice to hear it from actual people that are doing the thing. They're like, just make trash. They're like, just make something you like, and it can be garbage. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Just make shit, make it, get it out there, and then just get better. Keep practicing. Don't be afraid to use references, and, just pay attention. Don't trace, not that they're saying you can't trace, but they're like, but if you're, even if you are tracing it, or you're trying to just draw it by sight, they're like, just pay attention to what shapes you're using, what strokes you're using. Just try to understand the composition of the thing, which isn't that far off of some of the other videos that I've watched. So all in all, it was a pretty fun afternoon, I gotta say. And I'm sitting here actually editing the footage from the car, and like I said, discovered that the footage that I meant to end this video with was worthless because there was no sound at all. I don't know how I did that. And then, of course, realized that, I went to the trouble of getting wireless mics so that I could have a little bit better audio, and it didn't work because I think somehow I had turned off the receiver in the midst of all my guffuffle of not recording the first couple minutes that I was on the road. Oh, well, it was an experiment, and, but at least the footage, it's not too bad. For a first time, I am slightly proud of myself. Not because I think it's great, but just because it's not as crap as I thought it would be. But anyway, there we go. I got a little bit out of my comfort zone today. I did something different with YouTube. I put myself into a social situation that was kind of an unknown, and I have come out on the other side unscathed, and maybe just even a touch bit wiser. So do something for yourself. Have some fun. Get out there. Do things that are, still within your wheelhouse, but just enough outside of it to make you uncomfortable. You never know what'll happen. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be back with something else. I have no idea what it'll be because the channel is just evolving into this beautiful random thing. I am still going to play some video games and stuff, but I think I'm going to really try to find games that are within that sort of aesthetic of what I am trying to do, or what I think I'm going to do, so that I can try and learn from it. I know it's an indie-ish game. It was done by a small team, but man, I've heard so much about Omori that
I really think I should check that one out. And so that's probably what I'll do too. But, we'll do some other stuff here too. Make some new stories, maybe start to learn how to draw, all that good stuff. I hope you join me on the journey. In any case, thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Till then, bye-bye for now.